final video of the day. Is motivation the wrong message? Well, how could it be? I'm sure you guys are saying, well, how can motivation be the wrong message? That's a good thing. We all want to be motivated to go chase our dreams and get these things we want and change our life. And yeah, of course. But hear what I have right out here. Is motivation the wrong message? Talk about the Gary's economic stance right now, who's a UK-based YouTuber who I really enjoy watching. Talk about the Gary's economic stance right now, but who do you think it applies to? Gary doesn't discourage belief in motivation and going for your dreams. He encourages it. However, he says the reality is 85 to 95% of people are pretty much not destined to be well off in life because it depends on, who your family is and family connections and funds and all that, which is an unfortunate but harsh reality. And you say, I feel it's a valid point in your regular established educational fields where you need to take the schooling, college, university, and such route to go into. However, I don't think it overly mostly applies to people trying to do their own thing like I am here. Gary understands most people don't want to be entrepreneurs or build everything off their own back and just want to be able to work a steady job and provide for their family, have a home and have a car and maybe a vacation a year with that said job. Basically, just be comfortable. And I agree, it should be that way of life for people who just want a regular job. And I feel the message we need to spread needs to resonate with the demographic of person that we're dealing with. Those who want to build something off their own back and want to connect with people. It's never been easier to do so with the resources and tools we've had, and it's absolutely possible regardless of who you are and where you come from. People that don't have that in them, and it's not a bad thing, you're not at fault, or you're not worse than those who have it. I feel you. And I feel you should be being told that you primarily should be being told that you need to be our leaders and lead the revolutions and resistances to the abomination that is the economy. Because if you're not doing things off of your own back, creating a business, doing social media, etc., the rich and connected kids are taking your high-end jobs that you need to go through the system to get. Hold on, I need to sneeze, bro. It's coming. It's coming. Is it not? I might have to cut this out. Anyway, I think it's gone. I thought I was gonna sneeze. I was ready to sneeze. Anyway, like I said, it's motivation the wrong message. So in theory, what I'm trying to say and what Gary says is that there's this whole internet culture now of just telling people that they just need to work harder, and they need to lock in, and that it's their fault that life isn't the way they want it to be and that they haven't made it and such. And there's this whole, like I say, I mean, we all know how it is now. Um, and Gary says basically the reality of it. And I don't think he's talking about, like I say, building your own thing like this, which it still does apply to, like, not many people make it. But it's not like you're destined to fail. Whereas I think he means more so in the traditional, like, jobs route and, like, things you need qualifications for or degrees or masters or whatever. The kind of traditional education based job route. He says that, like, 85 to 95% of people nowadays ain't gonna make it and ain't gonna kind of earn like a big living off of that and are kind of gonna be stuck in poverty based off of that because nowadays it's just the rich kids and the rich family, wealthy families, the rich families and well-connected families that are taking those roles that are like you might want to aim to be like this massive corporate position, but most likely even if you're overqualified for that role, it'll be given to like an underqualified rich kid because he comes from a rich family or a wealthy family or he was just well connected. You know what I mean? And I guess that's what he's trying to push. So I guess what I'm trying to say is motivation the wrong message in terms of like, are we just telling everyone that everything is possible and that all of us have a shot? Because that's partly true and it's like the more comforting reality and what we want to believe. But do we need to actually lay down the reality of it so it doesn't affect people's mental health when they don't get to these positions and stuff like that? Because Gary, even himself, he says it's fucked. He says it plays with people's mental health. And I'm not just quoting Gary as if to like because I can't quote myself. Like I know this, I know the thing kind of happens. I'm just saying Gary's stance on it. I know that it fucks with people's mental health, when they're putting all this work in and it's just not working. But I see a lot of people kind of go against him and conflict him, and like argue against him, saying, "Oh well, no, like what if people listen to you, who says like most people aren't gonna make it, most people aren't gonna get rich, most people are gonna live in poverty and live that life." if people were listening to you and that's the outlook they had and they thought they were destined to fail, well, then of course they were. And, they're always going to feel bad. And that's the kind of argument people are making. And he's saying, no, I still encourage people to do their dreams and go for whatever, and do all this. But people need to know the reality of it is that most of these, whether I don't know whether he means like doing YouTube and shit like this, or whether he's just talking about like the corporate actual job, kind of education based job world. But he says, like I say, most of these positions now are gonna go to the rich kids, the kids that from wealthy families that pay their way in or pay to go to these big, insane schools so that they have the best degrees on the record. It goes to these rich and wealthy, well-connected families. They are who are getting the big roles and the good roles nowadays, and everyone else that doesn't have a rich and wealthy and well-connected family is just being left with the entry levels, or like maybe you can climb a bit up the ladder. And so it's motivation the wrong message. And how much do we need to tell of like the harsh reality and how much, because it like, if I'd have lived my life living by the harsh reality that most people don't ever make it, and on paper I'd, you know, barely even have a chance, and that most likely things never happen. If I lived by that, even just thinking about it makes me feel so much worse, makes me feel so much less motivated to even go try, makes me feel, so much just less powerful and like I can do things. And I think people are trying to say that Gary's outlook kind of provokes that, even though it doesn't. He's just like, how much do we kind of is like I said, there's a lot of being sold a dream. You know what I mean? There's a lot of being sold a dream. And where do we sit between selling people a dream because the motivation is so insane that it does help people make it, and given the harsh reality so that people don't beat themselves up and feel so hurt and it hurts their own mental health because they think it's their fault and they just didn't go hard enough, because that can really be damaging. You get what I'm trying to say? You kind of get the premises of this video. Is motivation the wrong message? Is telling you, you can do it all and it's all possible. Is that the wrong message when the harsh reality could be that you never had a chance anyway because you were always just going to be outbid by the rich and wealthy kids and their families that are already well connected? I don't know. I feel like this is like, I hate this topic because, like I say, it's a reality that I don't want to face or wouldn't want to face. And I still believe I can really make something, and I will always stand by that. Even if I'm feeling demotivated and feeling like it's not true, sometimes I'll just realize that I'm fighting for a cause bigger than myself. What the fuck? What? Oh, I got confused. I could see something orange on my screen. It's a fucking ladybird on my screen, or ladybug, or whatever you call them. But yeah, with that being said, I'm gonna round off this video. It's my last video of the day. And I'm kind of excited to go home. I've been out here a couple hours now. Probably what, like 3, 4 hours? Anyway, that being said, I'm almost out of charge. So if you like what I talk about and you want to talk about life, you want to come kick it with me a couple times a week and just kind of see different perspectives or learn something, then subscribe. It's completely free. It's cost free and commitment free. You can unsubscribe at any time if you want. If you didn't like the video, that's cool. I appreciate your time. What the hell was that? Anyway, if you like music and you want to check out my music, check out the pinned comments, especially if you are a music supervisor or sync agent. I need you guys. You're my heroes because I'm trying to kill it in sync this year. And I know my music has the potential to do so. Go let it speak for itself. So yeah, subscribe, check out the music, even if you're a viewer and you want to hear it, but it is instrumental, it's not no vocals. So go check it out. Go check my links out. My socials are in the pinned comment too. Like I say, is motivation the wrong message? Are we all just selling? Are we being sold a dream? Do we need to face the harsh reality? Do we need a mix of both? Where do we stand to where it's kind of we have a good message? With that being said, I'm gonna end off this video because there's people coming on the path too. So I'll see you guys later. Bye.